Good evening. This is All India Radio Kohima. I'm Jonas Yantan with Evening News. The headlines. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu says COVID-appropriate behavior must be strictly followed even after vaccination. Centre allocates over 198 lakh tons of food grains for next 5 months under Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. Union Minister G. Kishan Reddy holds Ministerial Railway meeting of Donor Ministry. And state government orders further relaxations and reopening of activities as Nagaland enters the second phase unlock of 7 days from tomorrow. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is going on, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also to help others to get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 6 feet for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075 and state helpline number 1800-345-0019. And now the news. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has stressed on the need for behavioral change, saying that COVID-appropriate behavior must be strictly followed even after vaccination. He also called for removing vaccine hesitancy among sections of people and underlined the need for concerted efforts to counter fake news and dispel myths on issues relating to COVID-19. Highlighting the importance of COVID vaccine, Naidu emphasized that every Indian has a social responsibility to get vaccinated and encourage others to immunize themselves. He said national vaccination drive should become a people's movement and it should be led by the youth. Asserting that India has fared reasonably well in tackling the pandemic in spite of the huge population, Naidu commended the efforts of the scientists, doctors, health workers and others in effectively dealing with the corona crisis. The centre is running the longest ever exercise of distributing free food grains to people during this COVID pandemic time. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had announced Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana (PMGKAY) to ameliorate the hardships being faced by the poor due to the economic disruption caused by coronavirus. Consumer Affairs Ministry said that for PMGKAY3, a total of over 78 lakh tons of food grains have been lifted by the states and union territories for 2 months for May and June this year. A total of over 198 lakh tons of food grains have been allocated to states and union territories for the next 5 months from July to November under PMGKAY4. Out of this, around 4 lakh tons of food grains have been lifted by the states and union territories so far. Union Minister for Culture, Tourism and Development of North Eastern Region, G. Kishan Reddy, today held Ministerial Railway meeting of the Ministry of Development of North Eastern Region. Minister of State B.L. Verma also attended the meeting. Both the ministers were briefed by the senior officials and officers of the ministry. In a tweet, Reddy said he is looking forward to serve the people from northeastern states. As Nagaland enters the second phase of unlock for 7 days from tomorrow, the state government has ordered further relaxations and reopening of activities. Shops and business establishments dealing with all kinds of food items and articles will be allowed to open from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. Takeaways, home delivery, and other e-commerce services will be permitted to operate on all days. Outdoor sports activities other than competition will be permitted, subject to attendance of not more than 100 persons and adherence to COVID-appropriate behavior and all applicable SOPs. Long-distance trains will be allowed to stop at Dimapur railway station. However, all inbound passengers should be asymptomatic and will be required to produce certificate of having completed both doses of COVID-19 vaccination. Inter-district movement is allowed, subject to the persons being asymptomatic, having completed both the doses of COVID-19 vaccination and adherence to COVID-19 appropriate behavior. bus services, intra and inter-district taxi services, and billion writing on two-wheelers will continue to remain suspended. This news comes to you from All India Radio, Kohima. You can also listen to this news bulletin on a YouTube channel, AIR News Kohima. Jal Jeevan Mission has provided tap water supply to over 97 lakh households in 61 Japanese acute encephalitis syndrome affected districts. Jal Shakti Ministry said tap water has been supplied to these priority districts in a short span of 22 months. The mission has significantly strengthened preventive measures to reduce the spread of Japanese encephalitis by providing clean tap water supply to economically poor households in affected districts of Assam, Bihar, Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh, and West Bengal. The ministry said after implementation of the Jal Jeevan mission, now over 1 crore households have been assured tap water supply in these affected districts. More than 462 crore rupees have been allocated to these states as Japanese acute encephalitis syndrome component for 2021-22. Central Public Works Department CPWD under the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs will celebrate 167th year of its glorious service to the nation on Monday. Housing and Urban Affairs Minister Hardeep Singh Puri will grace the occasion as the chief guest and Minister of State for Housing and Urban Affairs Kaushal Kishore as the guest of honor. During the inaugural function, 4 technical publications CPWD Floral WA, a treasure collection, ERP e-modules, Nirman Bharati, in-house publication of CPWD and CPWD Telephone Directory 2021 will be released by the dignitaries. A short film depicting the activities and achievements of CPWD will be screened during the function. CPWD came into existence in July 1854 as a central agency for execution of public works. Health Ministry said the national COVID recovery rate stands at 97.20%. Over 45,000 patients recovered during the last 24 hours. More than 37 crore 21 lakh COVID vaccine doses have been administered so far. India reported over 42,000 new cases in the last 24 hours. India's active caseload currently stands at 4,55,033. 1,206 people have lost their lives due to COVID-19 in the last 24 hours. With this, the death toll due to the pandemic has reached 4,07,145. Deputy Commissioner Kohima Gregory Tejavele has informed that in order to facilitate the overlaying of bridge deck slab at Ziza village at the ongoing Kohima-Dimapur 4-lane road construction, all vehicular movement along the stretch will remain closed from 4 a.m. to 12 noon tomorrow. However, vehicular movements for light vehicles will be allowed to ply at the alternate route via Jotsoma Konoma, Mezoma, Sechuma Zepsa, Kirupema, Beducha Lalmati, and vice versa, and at 10th mile via Zesema, Basa, Beducha Lalmati, and vice versa. Centre has extended the closing date for receipt of nominations of Vayosheshta Saman National Award 2021 up to 15th of this month. These awards are for institutions involved in rendering distinguished service for the cause of elderly persons and eminent senior citizens in recognition of the service and achievements. Detailed eligibility criteria, performer for nomination for the awards and the procedure for nominations are available on the Department of Social Justice and Empowerment's website. And now to end the news, here are the main points again. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu says COVID-appropriate behavior must be strictly followed even after vaccination. Centre allocates over 198 lakh tons of food grains for the next 5 months under Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. Union Minister G. Kishan Reddy holds Ministerial review meeting of donor ministry, and state government orders further relaxations and reopening of activities as Nagaland enters the second phase unlock of 7 days from tomorrow. That is all we have in this evening news bulletin. Good night.